This is Ola, man of prestige, your favorite relationship and marriage coach. If you enjoy this, smash that like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Be a part of the Prestige family. My wife Lola and I have written 2 powerful books, Get My Marriage Back and Number One Red Flag. Yours free at manofprestige.com. For personal coaching, send me a WhatsApp request for consultation to +1 732 305 8577. Stay tuned for more. Your journey to love and prestige starts here. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well. Welcome. Happy Sunday to you. All right, let's get into this. We have Emeka Ike furious over son's explicit videos with Jaruma. Who is Jaruma? Jaruma is a young lady who became popular some years back for selling aphrodisiac. Is that what they call it? Like tatata enhancement products. She was known for that, and then she disappeared, and then she came back, and now she's in some kind of stuff with Emeka Ike's son. So we're gonna review that real quick. All right, do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. We have we're dropping trendy stories, and we're making sure we're extracting lessons from them. All right, so what does this say? It says Emeka Ike, Jaruma. Let me see this if I can get to it. Okay, so if you remember some few years back, maybe like last year or 2 years ago, Emeka Ike was in the news for dragging his family. And you know, whenever that happens here, we take a special interest to it, not because I think it's a matter of men are always wrong. It's never that, honestly. It's more so that I think men don't have the luxury of even putting themselves in that position in the first place, you know. But you know, life happens, you know, shit happens, and when that happens, how you respond to it is another test. And I think men tend to overlook that, especially modern men. They overlook the fact that when you find yourself in crisis, it presents another layer to the test that you already went through that you probably failed at, and it's a very good chance you're going to fail again. So I always like to point out, I say, hey, I get it, I feel you, but don't respond in that way, okay? No, it's not me asking you to take the higher road. Actually, that's the only road you should take, okay? All right, everything else is hell, and you're going to double down and make your issues worse. So Emeka Ike, I guess there's a video out there of Emeka Ike's son, estranged son, you know, ever since his family, basically, it doesn't seem like they're still in good terms. But anyway, I'm going to read this and then see if we can get anything out of it. Bottom line is that his first family, the first wife he had, as I think 2 or 3 children with, he's at loggerheads with them. I think he's since remarried, but obviously he struggled. He struggled to get his family on the same page with him. So now Emeka Ike says, Jaruma. What the hell is this? What the hell? Let me read it. Hold on a second. What's my name and picture got to do with this disgusting videos? What disgusting videos? It's a son in a video with Jaruma. Let's keep going. What's my name got to do with this? What? Most definitely you're looking for my trouble, right? With it Ronamo. With it Ronam Sha. If you know what's good for you, remove my name and picture from all your rubbish content of incident posts immediately. I have nothing to do with your product, and I dissociate myself from my brand. What is he talking about? The son was in a video with Jaruma, and they used, I think Jaruma is also chasing clouds, and she goes Emeka Ike's son or something like that. I'll show it to you in a second. So he said, I have nothing to do with your product, and I dissociate myself from your brand. And then he goes, Michael, that's his son. Michael, I sent you to the university and your mother pulled you out. Anytime you start hearing your mother pulled you out, yes, even though there's usually, you know, there might be some truth to it, but it has nothing to do with what I'm about to point out for you. usually that person is trying to say something else. Your mother pulled you out. You know, in Yoruba land we say omotobada ti baba ni, omoti obada ti iya ni. Don't argue with me. It's Yoruba adage, okay? When you were about to enter year 2, she told you school na scam, encouraged you to become an influencer, singer, an actor like me, and you will blow. So is this it? Is this how you go about it? As Emeka Ike, I wanted you under my wings as my first son in pride. I want firm. We have to wait a few minutes. Let's see, because they turned this into a video. This is the video we're talking about. You can see Jaruma. I don't know if she was giving him. This is the Emeka Ike's son, grown ass man's son, by the way, and he's getting some kind of massage. But they did like another skit where you could see him pushing her over to the bed and smacking her bump. So I guess Emeka Ike is like, I'm a stand-up man. Itimelo Longbo. We can't associate my name with a Jaruma. God forbid that thing. Anyway, so he said, okay, let me continue now. It says, I was firm in you finishing school first, like I did before I became an actor. Is that my crime? You refused home training. Now Jaruma of all brands is training you. Last time I checked, you told the press you wanted nothing to do with my name. I got you a home abroad where you can school and work. To be fair to Emeka Ike, honestly, we probably will never know how much work is done behind the scenes to help his son out. But again, here's the issue. Here's where the issue comes in. If there is any mix of that with anything that looks like some kind of anonymity with the mother of your children, yeah, it's hard to see that. Most people are going to focus on, why are you so angry with your ex-wife? That's what most people are going to focus on. And you, gentlemen, need to know that. So that you need to understand that you can't just contain, like, oh, yeah, just take care of my son, and I can curse out their mother. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to get away with that, okay? I know you probably feel some type of way. You feel like the mother of your child was not loyal to you. They weren't loyal to you all the way. And, you know, there was issues about the school that shut down. They spent a lot of money and lost money on the schools. The wife said no. There were money that were borrowed. There was mishandling of money. There's all kind of stories around that. Bottom line is that there's 2 or more sides to any story, right? So we don't know. But what I can tell you is this, gentlemen, you need to see beyond that. Don't get stuck in this I'm right versus you're wrong. The moment you make the other person wrong, there's an extremely good chance you're going to be instantly wrong in the grand scheme of things. And I want you to really pay attention to that and really think about that and extract the wisdom you can get out of that. Because I think a lot of men, they suffer from this. Where they suffer is getting stuck in right and wrong. This discrete logic thing that doesn't factor in the biggest variable, which is human emotions, human psychology. Anyway, last time I checked, you told the press you don't want anything to do with me. I got you a home abroad where you can school, work, start your life, make money, and become your own man. Got lots of plans, big dreams for you. And there you lay like a lame duck, looking lost on Jaruma's bed. Jesus, y'all need rehab, and my legal team are looking at it. This was not the same brand of Michael that was taken from my custody. Michael is a grown man. Yeah, even if you raised your child and everything panned out well, you know, I don't know if you guys have read Otedola's book. You should guys go read that book. You know, he spoke about the disappointment of the mother in him not finishing school. You need to know when you have a grown ass child, you know, and yeah, it can be difficult to navigate, but there's a method to that madness. Don't conclude that, you know, you have to be lucky. Don't do that kind of conclusion, though. There's a method, though. This was not the same brand of Michael that was taken from my custody. Whatever they did to mentally numb you like this far, God will judge. Please say amen. Amen. Not even a classic brand. Jaruma? Where is it? We go now. Jaruma. Hold on one second. What's happening? Oh, I'm running out of time. Jaruma, now get my name and picture off your disgusting business and page. I'm a decent man. See, I knew it. The decent men are always collecting wutu left and right everywhere. A man cannot just be a good man.
We go explain because no evidence.
A man cannot just be happy, huh? He cannot just be a straight walking man who knows the right from left and just be a good guy. This world will not reward them properly. No, it won't. Until you gather some more wisdom beyond right and wrong, or whatever you think your moral standards are. You need to figure that out. Emeka Ike of this world. It is not good enough that you are a good person. I'm sorry. You live in a world of 8 billion people. And like I said, there's a method to the madness. It says, see what they pulled you out of school for, ignoring all the plans I have for you just to fight a supposed battle. See where you found yourself. You left schooling and working abroad to play mommy's boy. Now see her level of No, I'm not saying it's his fault. I'm just saying there's a crisis. How you handle it becomes another test that you're now required to pass. That's what I have to say. Let me know what your thoughts are about this Emeka Ike's story. Jaruma is a Jaruma. What do you have to say about Jaruma? Nothing. It's Jaruma. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. Let's move on to some other trendy stories around the world. I'll be right back.
This is Ogala, man of prestige, your favorite relationship and marriage coach. If you enjoyed this, smash that like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Be a part of the Prestige family. My wife Lola and I have written 2 powerful books, Get My Marriage Back and Number 1 Red Flag. Yours free at manofprestige.com. For personal coaching, send me a WhatsApp request for consultation to +1 732 305 8577. Stay tuned for more. Your journey to love and prestige starts here.
Doris Ogala breaks down. I'm not okay. Let's see if we can get something out of this.
Everybody thinks I should be okay. Everybody thinks I should be strong. Everybody thinks I am acting. Everybody thinks I'm creating content. Everybody thinks it should be okay, but it's not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay to have a lot of miscarriages in your life. It's not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay to watch them evacuate your child. It's not okay. It's not okay to be locked up. It's not okay. It's not okay to be detained. Everybody blames me. Everybody blames me for talking. Not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay to be arrested many times. It's not okay. I'm 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 not okay. It's not okay to come into your matrimonial home and you see another woman carrying a child in your bedroom with her mother. It's not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay to experience bitter marriage. It's not okay. It's not okay to... It's not okay. Everything is not okay. Everything is not okay. It's not okay. Everybody thinks that I should be okay.
Wow. This is why I always say seek help. You know, people that have a tendency to say this phrase, you know, they jump out in social media. They've gone through one thing or another, and they're very quick to say, I don't care.
Don't care, don't care, don't care, still don't care. I don't care, I don't care.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't give a rat ass. I'm exposing everybody. People that have a tendency to say that. Yeah. That's why I don't engage them, because first of all, if you have to say it out loud, you probably care, and you're probably you're sugarcoating things, and you're hoping that you won't care. But then when you go back to your bed late at night, you find out that you still care. Yeah. Even though, yes, you're dangerous to anybody that engages you. You're dangerous to anybody that ends up on your path. You're dangerous, even worse, to yourself. You know, things are happening to people. So we need to be very, very careful. But I wanted to speak to people that say, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't give a... I don't care. Agidi. For someone like me, I already know you care, you know. But the sad part is that I also don't want to be the one to prove to you that you care, because I can't know that you care more than you. You have to... I cannot care about yourself more than you. I just can't. I don't have the resources. I don't have the capacity to care about you more than you. Or at least to admit that you care. You know? I don't care does not mean I don't care in the grand scheme of things. It's just a way to emphasize how angry you are about whatever is going on at that time. But I'm telling you, it's dangerous. Seek help that you need. If you've gone through some traumatic experiences, things have happened to you, I want you to know that you're not alone. It's not just you. Okay? There's nothing new about your story. It's new to you. And yes, people are not busy. Most people that these things happen to, they're not announcing on social media. So of course it feels alone. It feels like you're just alone in your own world. That's why I say, hey, don't just keep it to yourself. Speak to someone, talk to someone. Engage wise counsel. Somebody has gone through something similar to that. You see, we often like to, we don't like to admit that we have a lot in common than we realize. Okay, we find it hard to admit we do have a lot more in common than differences. The only thing in this woke generation we like to highlight is how everybody is unique and different. We know that too. We know that we're unique and different, and everybody's stories is different. But there are patterns everywhere. But then if you're keeping to yourself and you don't speak up and ask for help, listen, I struggle with asking for help too. I'm not gonna lie to you. Okay. In certain aspects of my life, I do struggle to ask for help. But I'm encouraging you to know that even in that one, you're not alone too. Ask for help. Seek help. Talk to someone. Okay, they might be able to connect with you. Someone that, okay, you might just find that somebody has experienced something similar to that in the past. Right? And the moment you find one other person that can relate, that can listen to you. Hello, Momo5, good to see you. Happy Sunday. The moment you can as see somebody that has gone through something, then it really, you have like almost an instant relief, and then you can start to navigate the route to actual solution. But she does need help, and she's right, she's not okay. And she mentioned quite a few things she's gone through, things like miscarriages, stuff like that. That's a lot. Some people never get over that. You know why? Because often they also don't seek the help that they need, right? They make hasty conclusions, and they will say, hey, this is just it, and they just say that's just gonna, it is what it is. But then they wake up every other night, they cry, they go back to sleep, and then sometimes life get busy, and then they don't remember for another 3 months, and then it's a struggle. So hey, the point of this video, is make sure you seek the help that you need. Talk to someone, talk to a wise counsel. You can afford it, you can afford to find your way to a church somewhere, somebody, just talk to someone, okay? A church, a mosque, a clergyman, something. But talk to someone, don't keep it inside, okay? Because one day, if you keep doing that, it will explode. Yes, she does need help. Do me a favor, hit the like button. We have some other trendy stories around the world. We'll be right back. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications. I'll be right back.
This is Ola, man of Prestige, your favorite relationship and marriage coach. If you enjoyed this, smash that like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Be a part of the Prestige family. My wife Lola and I have written 2 powerful books, Get My Marriage Back and Number 1 Red Flag. Yours free at manofprestige.com. For personal coaching, send me a WhatsApp request for consultation to +1 732 305 8577. Stay tuned for more. Your journey to love and prestige starts here.
All right, welcome back. So we're still on Doris Ogala. You can't silence me. Well, she's been exposing this Pastor Chris for a while. But again, after a while, it starts to become like, is it really you? Is it really Chris that was the problem, or you? Well, we can easily say it's both, right? But at some point, like I said in that last video segment, you need to seek help. Let's listen to what she's saying here now.
If you think if you arrest me, I'll stop talking. Think you can do anything to me and get away with it, then I'll stop talking. Then you have something else coming. With the money you're going to give me, bring back the life of my brother you took. As many as should have planned the death of my brother. His blood will keep haunting all of you. All the young people you have sacrificed, they will haunt you. They are the ones haunting you now. Your altar will be opened. They will see what you are hiding. People will see who you are. Think you can silence me by arresting me? You can go to multiple police stations. I'm never afraid of you. I've never hidden my location. Do you think I want to leave? Everything is tired. My whole body, my whole being is tired. You can't do anything. You'll be exposed. Everything. Everything I know. I will expose it. Today you decided to kill my brother. Was the day you decided to kill me. You pay for every tears I shed. for every pain you caused me. And you think you will send people to mock me, then I'll keep quiet. And why do you think I care about what anybody thinks of me now? You will be exposed. Every evil you did, I will expose it. Every evil.
Wow. Let me read some of these comments. She's still talking about she's still alleging that there's some things under Pastor Chris's pulpit, you know. My question is that, can you just accuse somebody that something is buried under their property, and can you just, can one person create enough noise to go get those things dug up? What is she talking about? Or is she just delusional? She said they would dig up that pulpit. Do you know how many pulpits in Nigeria that things are buried under, including people that actually for real quiet, people's family members, people that actually the whole family knew about it, right? So now they'll be digging up some pulpits. This is the problem with Nigerians. After they become a victim of their own way of religion, they will now want to cry wolf and just scatter everything. Is she delusional? Is this even possible? Somebody said, be like this pastor too sweet though, because this is obsession. It becomes obsession. Look at what's happening to Davido right now. You can look at the case of Davido and the Anu and the mother. It is of obsession, of course. And people that you've offended or that claim you've offended, they will tend to be obsessed, of course. So you're basically telling us what we already know. If your big sister ain't giving your family endless shame, you're very lucky. Jesus Christ. Somebody said, Junkie Colorado is not for children. Anytime you get high, now Pastor Chris, they your mouth. Yaba left customer. Yeah, her credibility is short. I don't think too many people are believing her. Outside of what we already know, like Pastor Chris love that thing. Well, the guy is obvious. He already apologized for that too, but there's only so far you can drag that. Everything else, all this spiritual stuff, they have no roots. And there's no evidence for them, obviously, because they're spiritual in nature, right? So there's no admissible evidence that you can tender in court for somebody to go and dig up somebody's property. So what are we dealing with here with Doris Ogala? Help us greet your boss, Oji Uzo Kalu. Okay, so in one breath, over the last few weeks, she came to accuse Kalu or somebody or one of the governors, and she tried to do some political commentator thing. And she tried to separate my personal life is not different. And then at that point, people are like, okay, are you chasing clouds? Which one is which? Pastor Chris. So it's like one of those situations where, Auntie Kemi, you're telling the news, maybe there's some element of truth in what you're saying, but no one's going to believe you because your credibility is just not there. This young lady here, the credibility is not there. The only thing we can see out of this, like if better news come right now, she will disappear into nowhere. So all of this is 15 minutes of fame at best. So I said, what if Chris marry you? Will you say all this now? So here's the issue with that. I don't think her crying out that Chris didn't marry her was exactly what she was trying to do. I think that part of their relationship shut down a long time before that. I think they disconnected long before she cried out. That was just the trigger. The fact that the guy was getting married just happened to have been that trigger at that point in time. So you think she wants to marry Chris? I don't think so. I think there's a lot more going on than just the fact that she wanted to be married to Chris. This is just to me, this is a dangerous person, It's a dangerous person. This is the kind of person and you just know right now, sometimes you also, remember I was talking about, I don't care, right? You keep doing that, I don't care. Eventually, nobody will want to work with you because anybody that's wise, because they don't want, eventually you're going to turn on them. Even if they can't see it right now. Something is going to happen because life does happen. and you're probably going to end up turning on them. And it doesn't have to be somebody burying something under a pulpit somewhere. It could be something as simple as just a misunderstanding, and before we know it, you're not, you're no longer cordial. She even said herself that she's no longer cordial with Tonto Dike. You hear it like very light, although Tonto has our own drama, right? You hear it like a very light, although we're not talking right now. We're not talking. Why are you not talking? That is a big deal. That's a big deal. Or let's say at least that could be a big deal. Do me a favor, hit the like button. Let me know what your thoughts are around that. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. We'll be right back with some other trendy stories around the world.
This is Ola, man of Prestige, your favorite relationship and marriage coach. If you enjoyed this, smash that like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Be a part of the Prestige family. My wife Lola and I have written 2 powerful books, Get My Marriage Back and Number 1 Red Flag. Yours free at manofprestige.com. For personal coaching, send me a WhatsApp request for consultation to +1 732 305 8577. Stay tuned for more. Your journey to love and prestige starts here.
All right, look at this video. Let me see here. You remember we covered this a few days ago. What's his name? Desmond Scott, right? There was some TikTok couple. Everybody found them intriguing. I just discovered them, but they've been going viral for the past few days or so. They're saying the scandal started on, I think it was December 30 when she filed for divorce. The young lady filed for divorce. I was also seeing a few things around the internet say she's childish, but she filed for divorce on the grounds of infidelity and a series of viral public incidents, But again, there's something that last time we covered this, I didn't really talk about that, Public relationships is doable, but it's difficult. It's similar to long distance relationship, is similar to interracial relationships or marriage. It's similar to intertribal, interreligion, intergenerational, right? Like age gap, like a massive age gap. We call them dimensions, right? You jump from one dimension to another to go and marry somebody. It's very difficult to do, okay? And but when you are most normal people, most of our lives is private, okay? Even when we turn on camera and we do vlogs and stuff, if you're like a popular social media, that the story, the narrative that's being created by that, even as far as it could be from your real life, becomes your real life, okay? And like I said, it's not just for vloggers. It could be you marry somebody from a different race. It could be you marry somebody in a different religion, right? Of course, in the beginning, when you're in love, it doesn't always show up that way. But eventually, you start to see that there's some differences. So for this couple, Desmond and Christy Scott, what I'm seeing in most of the story that they're talking about is just another telltale sign that when you put your relationship on the forefront, it creates another layer, okay, of difficulty, of vulnerability, okay, the bad one, right? That the adversaries can come in through and destroy your relationship, and it shows up usually from the blind spot. So it's not always I'm a bad guy, you're a good guy. It's not always an infidelity type of situation. But anyway, just like 2 or 3 days after this whole thing scattered everywhere on the internet, they found a video of him slobbing down somebody in a club somewhere. According to the Shade Room here, the mystery woman seen kissing Desmond a couple of days after news broke that he was getting divorced from Christy Sarah has been identified. They've actually identified the person. So if you remember, he actually came out and he gave a robust statement that he made a mistake. He said, toward the end of 2025, I wanted to separate. During this period, I made choices that I'm not proud of. I took responsibility for those actions. I shared this with her directly and personally, and ultimately we decided to divorce. So I guess it's talking about he got caught with his hands in the cookie jar, right? But now the story will not go to rest as fast as he probably would like. And this is the tricky part about every kind of scandal like this. You have to be prepared that it might not go to sleep as fast as you like it to go, but you should be prepared to navigate that arena. It could be a private life too. Maybe you got caught and then, you know, you're now in a haste. You're trying to get that person to forgive you very fast. No, not yet. There's still more stuff that might be exposed, and you have to just stay calm, cool, calm, collected. Okay. So now they're saying they are identifying the person that is being with some 24-year-old model. This is the lifestyle of a vlogger. If a popular vlogger, you get hit with 15 minutes of fame, I hope you know what you're doing, because most people are never really prepared for that. People are, think of it like this: someone is going to say something negative in the comments, and you're going to have a tendency to engage the negative comment more than anything else. Okay, yeah, you're going to have the tendency to engage the comment more than anything else, literally. So how do you handle that? How do you have some self-awareness around that? How do you engage your positive comments more faster than you engage negative comments? Because again, the more popular you become, the more exposed you are, the higher you get, the more you are blessed with. To whom much is given, much is required. It requires additional skill sets. Okay, so and yes, somebody say it's work. They say marriage is work. I was like, it's not just marriage. It's anything that's worthwhile. It's anything that you can call a blessing requires work. Anything you can call an achievement requires work. Anyway, somebody say, isn't she a transgender woman? Okay, they're talking about the new person that is with right now. He's kissing like he on a Love Island challenge. In public, for that matter, somebody who just got separated. So, in fact, that already tells me that this person probably shouldn't have been married in the first place. You know, ladies and gentlemen, you know, it's actually okay to stay single, right? And it's okay if you call it an achievement. It's actually okay. Especially if you would go into marriage and come and make a mess out of yourself. But let me chill, okay? Because it's easier said and done, right? Sometimes you find yourself in the marriage before you realize that, I don't think I'm cut out for this. At least you will have a moment like that, right? Someone said, how we know that's Desmond and not a Dominican from Bronx? I know, right? That's a good question. The devil works hard, but TMZ works harder. Jesus Christ. Any woman who join hand with a man to break another sister's heart, your karma will be different. Buckle up, it's coming soon. If he hate being with his wife so bad, why doesn't he divorce completely before entertaining him? That's another, it's easier said than that. She's right, but it's still easier said than done. Whoever that is, if he can do all that in public with somebody he just met, I'm scared of him. Yeah, that is scary. But again, these are public people. If we all invested in ourselves the way you all invested in them, the world would be better. Says somebody who just left a whole comment on a post. Shout out to that person for being a hypocrite. It's always a Becky with a good hair, bro. Damn, y'all broke the record. I thought at least 24 hours. So now a lot of people are asking this question. This is a question I want to leave you with, right? I see this question on the Jasmine Brand blog. It says, would you be hurt if your ex moved on this quickly? Would you be hurt if your ex moved on this quickly? That's the question. That's the question of the day. Let me see what they say in the comments. Somebody said, Eben moved on. She's beautiful and rich. She'll just be fine. Okay, they're talking about the ex-wife. A lot of people are saying she's childish. I didn't know them, so I don't know what they look like. I'm just covering this because it falls on the radar of relationships and marriage. Moved on quickly? This is the whole reason she filed divorce. He been moved on. See English. Some people check out the marriage before it even ended. Not some people, everybody. That's why when men say, hey, 70% of divorces are initiated by women, I laugh at them every single time. Because that person left you long before they initiated the divorce. Or there's a good chance you left them. Abandonment is a real thing in marriages. Abandonment, right? There's another one here. Yes, abandonment is a real thing in marriage. We already know about the silent treatment that people subject themselves into, or we call it stonewalling, one of the four horsemen of divorce, right? So we know that these things happen before marriage. So maybe we can all stop the cap, right? I think somebody say, oh no, we just kind of kid. There's a video with Chude, some lady with Chude saying, oh, we were in love, but then I was in love with a woman better, so I left the marriage. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's like, people say, but English words have meanings for a reason. I was like, yeah, but words also have context. Listen to what they're trying to say, not just what they're saying. Okay? How people use words also have context. Listen a little bit longer. You can't be in love with the person and leave them. It just doesn't make any sense. You fell out of love. Oh no, we just amicably came to an agreement that we're just going to, so we decided to move on. It's a lie. You're a liar. Okay? It's a lie. Ola, speak for yourself. Some people are just that mature. What did I say? You're a liar.
Why the fuck you lying?
A lie is a lie is a lie is a lie. Do me a favor. Let me know what your thoughts are. Would you be... What's the question again? Would you be hurt if your ex moved on that quickly? Let's pretend you didn't want them to move on though. If you wanted them to move on, you're like, hallelujah, right? Yeah. All right. So let's move on to some other trendy stories around the world. I'll be right back.
This is Ola, man of Prestige, your favorite relationship and marriage coach. If you enjoyed this, smash that like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Be a part of the Prestige family. My wife Lola and I have written 2 powerful books, Get My Marriage Back and Number 1 Red Flag. Yours free at manofprestige.com. For personal coaching, send me a WhatsApp request for consultation to +1 732 305 8577. Stay tuned for more. Your journey to love and prestige starts here.
Welcome back. Let's talk about Iyanla Vazant. Iyanla explains why she missed her daughter's funeral. What does this have to do with relationship and marriage? Let's listen in. Let's see what she's saying.
Between protecting our peace and avoiding accountability.
Ah, good question. Yeah.
Shout out to It's on Site.
Integrity to tell the truth about it.
Integrity to tell the truth about it. Let's see what she's talking about.
Tell the truth, because you know when you're avoiding, or you know when you're afraid.
Do we know when we're avoiding? Do we always know when we're avoiding? Do we always know when we're afraid? Maybe we should define know. Do we know deep inside of our bottom of our stomach? Or do we really know? Do you know, or you just kind of know deep inside? Yeah, it kind of gets a little blurry, right?
Or you know when you're denying or projecting. You know.
Some people are liars and they're not intentionally lying, no. No, she's saying you know.
Oh, I don't have to ask you. You know. Tell the truth about it. And protecting your peace or creating a boundary looks and feels very different than erecting a wall. And
I've been trying to say this forever. Creating a boundary looks different than putting up a wall. Most people, when they say boundary, they're liars. They're just putting up a wall.
sometimes people erect walls and call it a boundary. No. A boundary is built to keep you safe as you let other people in.
If you're building up wall that can cave in on you, it doesn't make you feel, it's not keeping you safe, right? So that would not be boundary. Okay, that's a bad boundary, right? That's more like trying to buy yourself,
If your wall is up, you're holding people out. You can create a boundary. This is what I need you to do because I want to be peaceful in our connection.
So boundary has more of a purpose, a meaningful, fruitful, useful purpose for you in particular, right? Like I want to do this, but you have to be able to say because of something that's your partner, someone you're in a relationship with, your brother, your family member. They can say like, oh, okay, that makes sense. You can actually explain, not just because I don't care. I just want boundaries. You see, that's not boundaries. That's actually something else that you need to unpack.
That's a boundary. Or this is what I'm gonna ask you not to do, so we can be peaceful in our connection. That's a boundary. No, you
don't have to speak English like that, but you get the gist. So we can be peaceful in our connection. So that's English. Why would you speak so much English? I mean, if you give us your language, you speak it. But the point here is that you have a connection with a person. They're in your life for a reason. Yeah, somebody is getting value. You're getting value from it, because if you're not getting value, you just cut them off, right? But then you want to draw boundaries. So there's this confusion. There's a contradiction going on somewhere there. And how do you know? When you find yourself, I don't care, I just want boundary. Calm down. You need to actually take the time to find out why. Why do you want the boundary? Let's keep going.
can't come up in here with that. That's a wall.
That's a wall.
That's a wall.
I saw you just sit down with Oprah and you talked about your decision not to go to your daughter's funeral.
Yeah.
You kind of put up your boundaries just because of some of the things that was happening within your family.
Well, not in the
son?
family, with one particular grandson, her youngest son, who was just out of his mind.
Okay, so let's unpack that. Condolences to her, first of all. She lost her daughter, but she couldn't go to the funeral. Well, in Yoruba land, generally, I don't think people go to the younger one's funeral. But in America, they do, you know. But she couldn't go because there's a disagreement between her and the son of the person that passed away, her grandson. Family feud is everywhere. Stop acting like your own family is cleaner than the other person. Like, you need to understand that family dysfunction is everywhere you go. And the only difference, right, that I've seen personally is that some people handle it better than others. Some families is probably more rampant. They have like more toxic stuff going on than other families, yes. But in terms of dysfunction, it's everywhere. I wanted you to know that so that when it happens, you're not just in this disbelief where you're not willing to do the work. You need to do some work, okay? So she's about to speak to, I mean, that has to be difficult for her, right? The fact that she lost her daughter and now she couldn't go because of her son that she was at odds with. That has to, I mean, that has, for someone, especially somebody who is like a coach, a relationship coach, a person, a guru, right? She probably would think that she should be able to handle that, but actually it's much more difficult for them because everybody prejudges them to be better, you know. So it's actually can be a lot more difficult.
And I know it was grief, but I wasn't going to put myself in jeopardy. I wasn't going to give him the opportunity to disrespect his mother by disrespecting her mother. And I didn't know what he might do.
So it's a lot of foresight in that. I always preach this to men for the most part, but every one of us, ladies, you need to have foresight. There's certain moves you're about to make, and sometimes you're doing it from a place of number one cause of marriage dysfunction, pride. You're not thinking it all the way through, right? She said, I don't want to give him the opportunity to disrespect her mother by disrespecting her mother. And it's probably, I can imagine that has to have been some kind of toxic stuff going on, and she had to sacrifice something she'll never be able to get back for that. But we can also see it as maybe for a greater good. Let's keep going.
But I was a trigger for him. I knew I was a trigger for him. And I had to tell the truth about that.
How difficult was that for you?
Well, once I made the decision, because I made it from a place of love and care, I was okay with it. So I didn't have to go to the funeral. I went the day before. And I had my own thing with her.
Right.
She was still going to be dead the next day.
Jesus Christ.
I didn't have to be there. You understand? That the things that we do out of tradition, out of habit, that we don't even want to do.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. I'm too old. And I don't have wrinkles.
She said, I'm too old. You're too old. Okay, you're at least 25 watching me right now. You're too old for certain things, okay? You're too old for certain behavior that you put up in the name of, I don't care, I want boundaries. I'm like, no, you're drawing the boundaries, the inverted boundary in the wrong direction. You need to really take the time to really think about this stuff. Are you thinking about it? It's really, for the most part, what I've seen is usually a difference between short-term, short-sighted, and long-sighted. Like, did you see this all the way through what your behavior is going to become just 3 months from now? I'm not even talking about 5 years. Just 3 months from now. Think it through, right? And then that time you're thinking it through, by the way, it's time that you're not doing much, so you're not really creating any kind of damages, at least not that much. But also you're using that time to actually think things through before you make any kind of action. At the end of the day, she said she was going to be dead the following day. At the end of the day, heaven is not going to fall out of the skies. Just calm down when you're when you're responding to crisis. Because that's another test for you. Your reactions are actions you're responsible for. But I want you to pay attention to boundaries. And whenever you've set boundary, what do you mean by that? Think it through. Let me know what your thoughts are about that. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. Let's move on to some other trendy stories around the world.
This is Ola, man of Prestige, your favorite relationship and marriage coach. If you enjoyed this, smash that like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Be a part of the Prestige family. My wife Lola and I have written 2 powerful books, Get My Marriage Back and Number 1 Red Flag. Yours free at manofprestige.com. For personal coaching, send me a WhatsApp request for consultation to +1 732 305 8577. Stay tuned for more. Your journey to love and prestige starts here.
All right, I have a question for you. Welcome back. All right. So I always say why at the beginning. Yeah, I do. Welcome back. I have a question for you. It's a very simple question. I think it goes for everybody. I want to know your opinions, ladies. Okay, I want to know your opinions, but gentlemen, I want to know your opinions. Wife, mom, baby mama, or daughter? Who comes first for a man? Let's listen to this 2 young couple. See what they have to say.
Who comes first in a man's life?
So wife, mom, baby mama, and daughter.
Wife. Sorry. Gotta be the wife.
She is the wife.
Who comes first?
The wife has to come first.
Yeah.
The wife has to come first.
What if you have a child now?
With her or without her? Or like
y'all got a child together. Who comes first?
Wife. I'm the one that's gonna be with you all your life.
I gotta say wife. I believe that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
Cool.
I think the children are gonna grow up and move on and have their own family.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
That's a great point. A lot of men do say that.
Yeah.
That's a great point. They said a lot of relationships don't work after the child leaves the house because of that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. All
right, so it's a very common question, but as common as I feel that question has been, a lot of people still get it wrong. Let me read some of those comments here. Say, it's still waiting for bro to give his answer. Wait, they don't believe the answer he gave. You know, in the if you remember over the past few years, there's the Akimi story that went viral. The fake story, okay, because then that got debunked, but of course the story already went viral. So everybody always quote Akimi, the footballer, right? That he filed for divorce and the wife tried to get some money from him, and before you know it, they found out that all of his fortune is under his mother's name. And people actually run with it and believe that. You can tell all those people have never really set up a corporation ever before. Obviously, right? Like, if you have such a level of fortune, how could you possibly put it under your mother's name? And just like that, it just doesn't make sense. I'm not saying it's not possible, but it's unlikely, right? But anyway, they debunked it. But it's like when people say Stockholm syndrome. The actual Stockholm story, I read somewhere that it never existed, but we say Stockholm syndrome to say people are stuck in an abusive relationship, right? And it is what it is. Sometimes when a lie goes long enough, it becomes the truth. Okay. So why am I saying all of that? This question here, as much as I think everybody have asked the question, we had a question of what if, we've had a question of where somebody said, what if your mother wants to sit in front of the car and your wife also wanted to ride shotgun? Excuse me. What do you do? Right? How do you address that? Should the wife sit in front or mother should sit in front? All these kind of questions that measure, that kind of test priorities. That's what it comes down to. See, as a leader in life, you will be presented with so many options sometimes. And there's no such thing as 100% on one side or the other. You have to sometimes prioritize. That's life. That's any systems. That's any society, right? Anybody that has ever been a leader of any type, they know that they've gotten to a point where options are not always clear. You have to prioritize. And sometimes you prioritize based off of, again, short-sighted behavior, right? Versus long-sighted behavior. If you're short-sighted, the first thing that might come to your mind, if you've never used your mind, if you're myopic in your way of thinking, the first thing that will come to your mind are my mother. You know, I guess that would also be a function of culture, because some people's culture, depending on the culture you come from, you might think about that. But hey, let's think about context. Where in this time and age, in these modern times that we live in right now, and like they said, a lot of people, they become empty nester, and they find out for the first time they haven't been friends for like 25 years. They haven't even kissed on the lip, and they're supposed to be husband and wife. Nigerian couples, I'm talking to you. For so long, right? So what happens? By the time they get to that space, somebody starts to fantasize like, hey, I want love too. I want connection. It's a basic human need. I want connection. Yes, a romantic connection. You know, and that becomes a problem. So now, you know, if you're still young enough, you're looking at the rest of your life, you're like, no, there's no way I'm spending the rest of my life like this. So, of course, we find a lot of people go their separate way. People file for divorce 35 years into a marriage. People will file for divorce 40 years. Yes, 25 years. We're seeing some of those, you know. Why? Because they haven't been friends for so long. They're disconnected. And it's so awkward trying to revive it. It's been dead for so long. It's such an awkward thing to try to revive that. Why? Because they kept making the daughter first. Kept prioritizing their children. Right? They kept prioritizing everything else but the person that you signed up to spend the rest of your life with. These are the issues. But let me read some of this comment. Say, how about letting him answer without our input and see if it's the same answer? Laugh my ass out. That's funny, but I think I've seen them on a TV show before. I think they're a solid couple. I think he would. It's a Nigerian guy too. I don't remember their name, so don't ask me. I think you would answer no, but they're right. Some men will probably straight up tell you like, no, my mom come first. As you can see here, somebody said mom come first. Okay, somebody said mom come first. As trivial as that sounds, it's dangerous. It's dangerous, and it has nothing to do with the fact that with if mom is important or not. Of course, mom is important. Mom is queen mother. Of course, she's important, right? But if whenever you bring marriage into that equation, your spouse must come first. If you're in a situation where your spouse doesn't come first, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And I'm so sorry because honestly, I don't know your story too, and I can't speak too much to what the future may hold. But I'm so sorry because I know how dangerous that is, okay? Husband and I have decided differently for ourselves. Our daughter comes first until she can care for herself. That's actually some fake nonsense. I've seen people do that too before. Oh, we decide. See, the person is trying to excuse it. And wrap it up and envelope it into some weird. No, there's some things. Although I wouldn't hold a woman so much to that, because that husband should not have agreed to something like that. Obviously, you're following his lead and he doesn't know what he's doing. It is dangerous. You must come first because the children will manipulate that as well. A house divided against itself cannot stand. This is an extreme. It's an extreme when it comes to marriages. It's an extreme. It has to be, but you don't want to what? No, it's an extreme ideology that you must hold dear. If you're in that space where you have a husband who is agreeing with you to put your daughters or your children first, ooh, ouch, and you're the one loud about it on the internet, it's dangerous, okay? I would just be careful. Gonna be careful. Now express you they go. But let me know what your thoughts are about this. Let me know what you think about it, you know. Your opinions are welcome, okay? Okay, I just want to drop it there just in case you might decide that that's another angle to look at it. That's all I'm doing. Okay, your opinion matters. Okay, so feel free to drop it. But wife, mom, baby moms, baby pops, daughter, who comes first for a single man? Now there's an exception, slight exception here that we can have that conversation. I don't think it's a real exception, but what if you're a single mother and your children? Should you pick your new spouse over? That's a question. That's a wild question, I know. Let's leave it at that. I want to know what you think about that. Anyway, first of all, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. I'll be right back with some other trendy stories around the world.
This is Ola, man of Prestige, your favorite relationship and marriage coach. If you enjoyed this, smash that like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Be a part of the Prestige family. My wife Lola and I have written 2 powerful books, Get My Marriage Back and Number One Red Flag. Yours free at manofprestige.com. For personal coaching, send me a WhatsApp request for consultation to +1 732 305 8577. Stay tuned for more. Your journey to love and prestige starts here.
All right, welcome back. So let's talk about we just finished talking about who comes first, right? So let's talk about the 5 truths about loyalty, boundaries, and emotional responsibility. And of course, particularly when it comes to relationships and marriage, right? Let's talk about it. I'm going to share 5 hard truths. When I say hard truth, you really need to not just take my words. Don't take my words. So go back and study this and really think about it, and then, let's see what you come up with, and then come back and share with me what you come up with. 5 hard truths. 5 hard truths. All right. So we've talked about manipulation tonight. We've talked about emotional breakdowns, right? The crying, We've seen that the public exposure, the betrayal, the grief, family feud, family conduct, parenting, all that kind of stuff. So now, the first one I want to talk about is called boundaries are supposed to protect love. If it doesn't protect love, what you're talking about is not boundaries. You're just an English speaker. Okay? You are a phonetics speaker. You are a liar like the rest of us. You're talking about something else. I don't care. I just want boundary. No. That's not boundary. You're building a wall around yourself and you don't know what you're doing. And you're probably going to self-destruct your relationships. Okay? Boundaries are designed. Boundaries in the real sense of it are designed to protect love. It doesn't mean that some people, you don't need space from certain people. I just want you to think about it very well before you try to effect boundary. Not everyone deserves access to your family. That is still true. Not everybody deserves access into your inner orbit. That's still true. Weak boundaries will definitely invite chaos. That is still true. Some people you still need. I'm just asking you to think it through. Okay. As a matter of fact, protecting yourself against certain energy, yes, that's a form of love. Actually, if you don't guard your family, if you don't guard your energy, people will exploit it. That's very true. But that's the very reason why you want to make sure you think things through and don't react. Well, react, but be sure to know that your reactions are actions you're responsible for. And if you don't do it properly, you can end up hurting yourself. Number 2 hard truth I want to share with you. Pain doesn't give you permission to destroy. I'm going to scatter everything and scatter. No. Okay, because you might end up hurting yourself. You ever see somebody want to throw a soccer punch and then they threw that punch and they came back around and punched themselves in the face? You never seen that before? Oh yeah, it happens. Go and watch the fight between Portable and Go and watch that fight. Just search it. It's on YouTube. The fight between what's his real name? Speed Darlington and Portable. And you see what I'm talking about. Okay. Suffering is real. Life is difficult. Okay. Everybody has their own thing they have to cook. Life is about ups and downs. No, it's not just marriage. It's life itself. I don't care if you're single, talking stage, a relationship, dating. Life can be hard. Okay, and suffering can be real, and it's a lot of ups and downs. Okay, but harming other people, you know, when they say hurt people, that is still a choice. Okay, pain can help us explain a behavior, but unfortunately, it's not going to be a good enough excuse. Sometimes when I'm trying to spell out that some people are coming from a place of pain, people think I'm giving excuses for them. Actually, no, far from the truth. The reality is that all of us, we go through things in life and there are consequences for how you react, because those reactions are actions you're responsible for. So pain does not excuse your behavior. It can explain it. That's all it can do. Explain it. It doesn't excuse it. So when you're going through healing, it will require restraint, because you're going to be tempted to act out of character. And just because you've been hurt does not make you right. We can explain that it makes you human, but we can also help you map it out to a bad consequences if you don't gather yourself, and make sure that you stay in control of how you react to life crisis. Let's move on to number 3. Desire without discipline destroys trust. What do I mean by this? What do I mean by that? Okay, we're talking about the young man who has basically scattered his whole family because some people say the wife is childish. I think it's too much exposure, because nobody's wife or husband is perfect anywhere in this world. Okay, the grass always seems greener on the other side. Or part of Inoyali. Don't worry about everything I just said. Bottom line is that the grass always seems greener on the other side, right? It's probably that grass is fake, it's synthetic, okay? And or somebody is watering that grass, okay? And you're just about to invade somebody's space, and you're about to catch an uppercut, okay? So attraction, yes, is natural. Loyalty is a decision when it comes to marriage, at least. It's a decision you have to make. You have to look at your situation and say, hey, there's weaknesses, there's strength, there's opportunity, there's threat. It's called the SWOT analysis, right? And for every situation that arises, you want to definitely assess it like that. You want to assess things and make sure that you're not just overreacting, okay? And then you decide to be loyal. You decide to be honorable to your words. If you subscribe to vows, unless it tampers with your safety. If it tampers with your safety, then obviously you should self-preserve. Okay? Desires grows faster than character. So be careful. You know, character is a slow process. And I'm not talking about the one you were raised with. You have to build character with some of the things you go through in life. That's what builds character, your experience, okay? And trust. Trust is a very delicate thing, okay? Yeah. Trust dies long before you see it like this, right? Where everybody say, I didn't, it's long ago. It died a long time ago. So that's why I say you have to have check-ins. You have to have a way that you scan your relationships, make sure everything is good. How do you do that? Just check in on a person you care about. That's all. You sow a little bit of seeds here and there. In the love languages book, they call it the love tank, right? Don't just float through life. That's selfish. Okay, in your life, the people around you, you're gonna need them. It might not seem that way right now. You're going to need them. Okay. When you're in the spirit of desire, when you're in love, right? That's loud. Yeah, but when discipline is something that's quiet, that's something you have to work on silently. But it also lasts longer to protect you and your loved ones and your relationships, which is honestly all that matters in the grand scheme of things. Let's move on to number 4. Number 4, everyone has a loyalty order, even if they deny it. Remember that thing I was talking about, the priority? Priority, right? In life, if you're a leader at any level, that means you're an adult, you care about something, you care about someone, you have a life that you like to protect, that you care about, children, right? And people look up to you. You're going to be presented with difficult decisions sometimes. Yeah, it's going to happen. For example, having to choose between your mom and your spouse, right? This is 2026, okay? In the modern era, Please, that shouldn't be that difficult anymore. Please, let's gather some brain. It shouldn't have to be that difficult again. It's very simple. A house divided against itself cannot stand. Okay? If you care about that house, make sure there's no division. Okay? Everybody else, they're gonna be all right. They're gonna get the residual love you're going to create by making sure you're always presenting a united front. Is going to be more than enough to protect everything else. Okay? The reality is that you're always choosing someone first. People always choose someone first. It's just a question of if you're self-aware about it or not. If you're intentional about it or not, right? That's why I say you can't say, hey, me and my husband decided to choose our daughter. The reality is, yes, unity is all you need, okay? But there's some very, very subtle things that shows up that become argument point. And especially if you have the children that actually can be a force against your home. Yeah, your own children. Yes. Yes. They can be very manipulative. If they see division between the two of you, they will invade it. Okay? I pray that the devil will not use your children against you. You don't want to be confused about this, because confusion will basically expand and will make the conflict even bigger. Bigger than you can control. So we need to be careful with our words, yes, but also pinch of salt, okay? Clear priorities will create peace in the long run. We need to be clear, okay? If you're trying to cook especially when we talk about marriage, you need to be on the same page with your partner. That is an ongoing, that's all you need to do. That's like people say marriage is work. I said, no, it's actually that simple. You're always working to be on the same page. If you just, hey, they're trying to say something, listen a little bit longer than you would normally do. Listen a little bit longer. You're trying to get on the same page. But you also want to make sure that you're not just appeasing their feelings or pandering to them. But the only thing I'm asking is patience, okay? Patience, unity. Patience for what purpose? For the sake of unity, long term. So clear priorities will create that peace of mind you're looking for. And if you don't decide who comes first, guess what? Life will decide it for you. Let's move on to last but not least. Emotional responsibility outlives personal preference. What do I mean? Emotional responsibility outlives personal preference. Responsibility isn't always comfortable. All right? It's not. I always try to remember it's easier said than done. Love sometimes looks like painful duty. Somebody said, no, that's not love. That is not love. Love is an affection. It is feelings. It's not love. You are still arguing English in this matter. That means you don't have anything to care about. You don't have any real life anything. That's why you are arguing in English, okay? Let me talk to those that have relationships that they care about, okay? Love sometimes would look like a painful duty. It's a momentary thing. You're passing through a phase. Okay, it doesn't mean you have to get stuck there. I just want you to identify that for exactly what it is. Okay, it's a painful phase, so it can feel like a painful duty, and you need to just be aware of that. When that happens, you remember my voice, and then you calm down and then try to figure things out. Your emotions does not cancel your obligations. I always say the biggest factor in all of this is emotions, right? That's why we need emotional intelligence. That is not the excuse to operate from a place of emotions. It's the very reason why I'm telling you to have emotional intelligence. Because emotions no be your mate. So, however, last, emotions does not cancel your obligation. It does not cancel consequences. What you feel today should not destroy what you owe forever. Think long term. Always think long term. It's not easy to think long term. Okay, so sometimes you have to take some time off. Go and take a shower. Go and sleep over it. Excuse yourself. So let me think about this. Then you go back and think. You come back. Don't be careful with impulse. Acting out of impulse. Be careful with that. That's number 5 right there. Number 1, boundaries protect love. 2, pain doesn't give you permission to destroy. 3. Desire without discipline destroys trust. 4. Everyone has a loyalty order. Life will pick it for you if you're not intentional about this one. Okay, it doesn't matter if you're in denial. Number 5, emotional responsibility outlives personal preference. Those are the 5 hard truths about loyalty, boundaries, and emotional responsibility. Do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. Hopefully, you've been enlightened, educated. We'll see you on the next one. Take care and God bless. Peace.
This is Ola, man of Prestige, your favorite relationship and marriage coach. If you enjoyed this, smash that like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Be a part of the Prestige family. My wife Lola and I have written 2 powerful books, Get My Marriage Back and Number 1 Red Flag. Yours free at manofprestige.com. For personal coaching, send me a WhatsApp request for consultation to +1 732 305 8577. Stay tuned for more. Your journey to love and prestige starts here.